Hi, I'm Terry Cron with Heavy Duty Powertrain. I do the tech support on specializing in L10, M11 N14 engines. And I don't work for Cummins. I do have a nice shirt though, I just got. I like Cummins products, to tell you the truth. I think they make a great product. But today we're going to be talking about what really goes on with an ECM that you got to be scared of when it comes to injectors. Okay, one thing I want to point out is this here is a Cummins injector, and it's a new PX injector, I guess. Had it several years here. I don't really like to even sell injectors, but at any rate, we'll take it out of the folder here, out of the aluminum, and right here is a pigtail on here, and if you look close here, this is the electronic solenoid right here on the injector. So this solenoid's got two wires naturally, and the way this works is the ECM injector harness sends a signal off for this to go to ground, and then a big bang happens here and fires your injector. So on that note, when this solenoid develops a problem that from old age, and on that note, that's why I tell everybody to buy original Cummins Recon RX or PX injectors or NX. I believe the terminology is that an RX injector is rebuilt completely, and a PX injector is the same thing as an RX, except it has a new tip. An NX injector on the end of the part number means it's a new injector. So you're looking at the RX means rebuilt, the PX means new tip. I don't know why they don't call it TX injector. The NX means new exchange. So I can't be sure, but it looks to me that the RX and PX injectors are all the Cummins brand Recon injectors, all have new solenoids on them. And this is huge, okay? Because if you deal with a company that says, oh, we can rebuild your injectors, okay, they're rebuilding them physically. But if you ask them, which is important, I might be wrong on this, it's been a few years, but one of the issues that I found when I was selling injectors from another company was he told me, the owner at the time, that he cannot get new injector solenoids for the injectors. So I hate to pop the bubble out there for the guys that's doing them, and if it is, please call me and correct me if you're able to put new solenoids on all your rebuilt injectors. But if not, Cummins is your best shot. I would, and the reason I say that, you'll understand as I tell you a little bit more. Okay, let's say you're driving along in the truck and you get a fault code, and if you got a road relay in the dash, this is really helpful. So you can say that, let's say it's a fault code of, usually your fault codes I think are all 330, 350 numbers, something like that. Don't quote me on it. But let's say it comes up and it gives you your fault code for number 6 injector. So keep in mind, at that instant, that's telling you that something's going on with your wiring harness or the solenoid or both, and that's your high power juice. So that means that that if I was driving the truck, knowing what I know, I would pull over instantly as soon as I could if my road relay told me it was number 6 injector. And personally, I would pull the injector wire off at the pass-through between the head, the valve cover, right there. That's where all your little pass-throughs connect on an N14, that is. Not on an M11 or L10. That's all up in the valve cover. You can't do it. But I would just simply pull that off and let it miss, and I would get it to a repair shop as soon as possible, and I would replace that injector. Now, unfortunately, my experience here with electronic solenoids, whether it be Cat, Detroit, Cummins, or anything, when they go bad, they start heating up things big time inside your ECM. And that would be talking about especially the injector driver that's inside the ECM for number 6, let's say we're talking about. Now, on top of compounding that problem with the injector driver heating up and destroying the driver if it's not addressed right away, the bank of drivers and heat sinks along the top of your board in the ECM are right above your memory processor and your chipset for firing the injectors, and along with that, your fuel solenoid circuit runs in there. So when that really gets hot, then my theory is this is what really causes the 111 code. And the fault code 111 is when your injector timing chip or your memory chip or both underneath these heat sinks gets so hot that it'll lift off the board, and then it breaks the solder where the chipset is on. So now what happens, even though you replace the injector, you've possibly done damage to the injector driver, and if it got hot enough, then all of a sudden you're going to start having this 111 code, or on your relay it may say internal failure 1, something like that, but it's referring to what is going on is that chipset has gotten so hot it lifted off the board, and now every time the engine starts up, sometimes within a few minutes the heat starts making it rise off, and then it'll throw a 111 code, and many times it'll throw 6 or 7 other codes. And if it's your timing chip, then you really got, big time problems. So you may throw all your sensor codes, and it's just a mess, and there isn't nothing you can do about it. So on that note, the smartest thing you can do is, if nothing else, every 500,000 plus miles, change out and get Cummins Recon injectors. And if NX is available, they're brand new, I would probably spend the money and be assured that I got brand new injectors along with the solenoids, because the solenoids are more important to me than the physical part. But the injectors are of a very high tolerance, so it's really tough for anybody to rebuild them except for Cummins. So that's thumbs up for Cummins parts. And on that note, I would definitely, at a minimum, always keep a new fuel solenoid on that, on your truck or on top of your fuel pump there. That's huge too, because it can cause problems when it gets sluggish and corroded, and it will also cause that whole board to get too hot and may cause the 111 code, which you're just dead in the water. That processor's lifted off once, and it's never going to be the same. You're just wasting all your time trying to make it go away. So I would also get a brand new harness every 10 years at a minimum. So think about it, guys. You know, it's 2000 coming up 2012. So 2002 and below, it's time for a new wiring harness. Don't run around with the old one. Plus, every component, I keep seeing part number changes and upgrades. So Cummins appears to be right on top of all their harnesses, better quality wiring, all their sensors. So it's just a no-brainer. So you really want trouble-free running, you know, take a breath and think about it. 10 years have went by. It's time to do a major tune-up. Maybe a good time, the same time you coordinate it with brand new injectors, brand new harness, new fuel solenoid at a minimum, new cam sensor, new turbo boost sensor. The latest one gives you better fuel mileage and more power, the truckers tell me. So that's my tip, all about a simple little injector and how it can cause so many problems and how important it is to maintain your truck or your fleet. If you got any more questions, feel free to call me. My name's Terry Cron. I'm the owner of Heavy Duty Powertrain. Our website is www.heavydutypowertrain, all one word. The train is spelled TRAIN.com. Phone number is 810-653-6300. I'll be glad to answer any questions I can. My only expertise is the electronics end of L10, M11 N14 engines. I'm not a diesel mechanic, have no degrees. I just have probably around 10 years of experience in dealing with diagnosing and the control modules called ECMs. Thanks a lot, and have a nice day, and keep in touch. I'm always anxious to learn more, and so any of your mechanics or technicians got something to add to what I'm saying or think that I'm wrong, then I make mistakes too. I do stand to be corrected, and I don't have any problem with that. I'll talk to any of your mechanics if you got your truck at a shop. Normally I don't have any problems communicating with anybody working on them, no matter how high up the ladder they are. And have a nice day, and keep us in mind, and I'm going to keep the videos coming right on through 2012. So good luck out there, and have a great day.